Imagine it is 2:13 in the morning. A man from 48,000 years ago is standing under the white lights of a gas station convenience store. He is not stupid. He is not some cartoon caveman with a club. He has your brain, your lungs, your fear response, your hunger signals, your ability to learn fast when survival demands it. If you shaved his beard, gave him jeans, and taught him how doors work, he could disappear into a city crowd by lunchtime. But right now, he is frozen in front of something his nervous system has never seen before. A wall of calories, cold soda, chocolate bars, donuts sealed in plastic, chips stacked higher than his chest, frozen burritos spinning slowly in a microwave. Every color is screaming at him. Every package is promising energy. Salt, sugar, fat, all sitting there safe, silent, and available. No hunt, no risk, no thorns, no broken ankle 5 miles from camp, no winter, no waiting, just abundance. And here is the question that matters. Would this man stay lean because he is built different? Or would his ancient body do exactly what our bodies do now? I think this is where the usual story gets too simple. We love saying ancient humans were thin because they moved more. They walked all day, they hunted, they carried things, they were basically endurance athletes with worse dental care. And yes, they moved constantly, but movement alone is not the whole explanation. One of the best modern windows into that older lifestyle comes from the Hadza people of northern Tanzania. Hadza men still hunt with handmade bows. Hadza women dig tubers from hard ground and carry heavy loads across long distances. Their daily activity would make most office workers collapse before dinner. So researchers expected them to burn far more calories than sedentary people in wealthy countries. But when scientists measured total daily energy expenditure, the result was strange. The Hadza did not burn dramatically more total calories per day than adults in places like the United States or Europe. That sounds impossible until you understand the body. Your body is not a furnace that simply burns more and more because you move more. It is more like a survival accountant. If you spend extra energy walking, digging, carrying, or hunting, the body quietly saves energy somewhere else. Resting, metabolism shifts. Internal systems become more efficient. The budget gets balanced. To me, that changes the whole question. Ancient humans were not lean because their bodies refused to store fat. They were lean because their world rarely allowed a long enough surplus for fat to keep accumulating. Their biology wanted savings. Their environment kept emptying the account. And once you see it that way, fat stops looking like a mistake. It starts looking like the oldest survival strategy in the human body. In 1962, geneticist James Neal proposed what became known as the thrifty gene hypothesis. The idea was simple but uncomfortable. For most of human history, the people most likely to survive famine were not the people who burned through energy casually. They were the people whose bodies could grab extra calories during rare good times and store them as body fat. That was not weakness. That was winning. A body that could turn a lucky week of fruit, honey, meat, or fish into stored energy had a better chance when the hunt failed, the berries were gone, and the weather turned. So when I look at the modern obesity crisis, I do not see a new human flaw. I see an old human talent placed inside a trap, and we have watched this happen in real life. One of the clearest examples comes from the Pima people of Arizona. For generations, they lived in the Sonoran Desert as farmers and foragers. Their food was hard-earned, their bodies were active. Their calorie supply was limited by rivers, seasons, crops, and labor. Then, in the late 1800s, upstream water diversion damaged the irrigation systems they depended on. Traditional farming collapsed. Government food support arrived, but the foods were different. Refined flour, sugar, lard, canned goods. cheap calories replaced hard-won calories. Within 1 or 2 generations, the health pattern changed dramatically. The Arizona Pima developed some of the highest recorded rates of obesity and type 2 diabetes studied by researchers. But here is the part I think people should sit with. Their relatives, the Pima living in the Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico, shared much of the same ancestry, but they continued a more traditional lifestyle and stayed far leaner and metabolically healthier. Same ancestry, different food world, different outcome. That matters because it shifts the blame away from some vague idea of bad discipline and towards something far more disturbing. The environment had changed faster than the body could adapt, and modern food did not just become easier to find. It became easier to overeat. A wild salmon is rich, a sweet piece of fruit is rewarding, honey is powerful, but natural food usually comes with breaks built in. Protein fills you, fiber slows you down, chewing takes effort. The same flavor becomes less exciting after enough bites. A chip does the opposite. Salt, fat, starch, crunch and speed arrive together in a tiny engineered signal. The food disappears before fullness has time to speak. Your reward system says, again, before your stomach can say, enough. That is not ancient abundance. That is abundance with a design team. And that is where the story becomes bigger than food. Because the modern world did not only change what we eat, it changed when we eat, how fast we eat, how little we sleep, how stressed we feel, and how often our brains are told to consume. For most of human history, hunger had friction. You had to walk, search, dig, climb, chase, wait, risk something. Today, hunger can be answered by touching glass. That may be one of the most unnatural sentences in human history. A body built over hundreds of thousands of years to survive uncertainty is now living inside certainty. Calories are not hidden in the ground or running across a plane. They are glowing on a menu at midnight. They are waiting beside the checkout counter. They are delivered to the door before loneliness has even finished explaining itself. And I think this is the part we have to be honest about. Willpower was never designed to fight an environment this loud. You can tell a person to just eat less, but that advice ignores the battlefield. Modern food speaks directly to the oldest parts of the brain. The part that does not care about six-pack abs. The part that only knows this ancient rule. When energy appears, take it. Because later, there may be none. That rule kept our ancestors alive, but now the same rule can slowly make us sick. After agriculture began around 10,000 years ago, humans learned to store grain, settle in larger groups, and make calories more predictable. That achievement built civilization, but it also began a long experiment. What happens when a scarcity body gets surrounded by surplus? For a long time, hard labor still protected people. Farming was brutal. Food was stored but not effortless. Then industry arrived, then refined sugar, then supermarkets, then fast food, then apps, then snacks designed to be eaten without attention. Each step removed one more layer of friction. And now the ancient body is still here, doing its job, while the modern world keeps whispering more. So the lesson is not that we should hate our bodies. The lesson is that we should stop treating biology like a moral failure. If your environment is engineered against you, engineer it back. Keep the foods that hijack you out of easy reach. Make real food easier than fake food. Protect your sleep. Walk not just to burn calories, but to remind your nervous system that you are still an animal built for movement. Create friction where the modern world removed it. Because the goal is not to defeat your ancient body. The goal is to understand it well enough to stop handing it to the highest bidder. So here's my question for you. If we placed your own body back into the world it was designed for, what would change first? Your hunger, your energy, your mood, or your weight? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more videos that explain modern problems through ancient human biology, subscribe, because the past is not gone. It is still living under your skin.